Not every mountain gives people the same chance of coming back. In the United States, there are peaks where survival is never assumed, even for those with experience, preparation, and the right equipment. On these mountains, small mistakes become fatal. Weather changes erase escape routes, and rescue often arrives too late to matter. What makes them especially dangerous is not just height or technical difficulty, but how often climbers fail to return. In some cases, the numbers are clear. In others, the true survival rate is unknown, buried beneath disappearances and unrecorded attempts. What remains is a pattern: repeated incidents, similar outcomes, and a reputation earned over decades. These mountains are not the most remote in the world, and they are not always the hardest to climb, but they share one thing in common. When things go wrong, the margin between survival and death is dangerously thin. These are the 5 American mountains with the worst survival rates. Number 5. Mount Hood. Mount Hood rises to just over 11,200 feet in Oregon's Cascade Range. Compared to the giants of Alaska, it appears modest. There are roads leading close to its base, marked routes, and thousands of climbers attempt it every year. And yet, Mount Hood has one of the worst survival records of any mountain in the United States. What makes Mount Hood dangerous is not extreme altitude, but accessibility. Because it is relatively easy to reach, many climbers underestimate it. Weather changes rapidly, especially during winter and early spring when most fatal incidents occur. Storms can roll in within minutes, turning clear skies into whiteout conditions that erase visibility and landmarks. The mountain's most infamous area is the upper slopes near the summit, where steep snowfields, ice, and exposed ridges converge. A slip here can quickly turn into an uncontrollable fall. In several cases, climbers have been carried hundreds of feet downslope, often with fatal results. Rescue teams frequently report that accidents happen very close to the summit, where exhaustion and overconfidence combine. Avalanches and icefall are constant threats. Warm daytime temperatures followed by sudden freezes create unstable snow conditions. Crevasses and fumaroles, openings caused by volcanic heat beneath the ice, can be hidden just below the surface. Climbers have fallen through what appeared to be solid ground. Mount Hood also records a high number of search and rescue operations every year. While some climbers are successfully rescued, many incidents end differently. Weather often delays helicopters, and ground teams must operate in dangerous conditions. In some cases, victims are found days or weeks later, if they are found at all. The survival rate on Mount Hood remains low not because it is unclimbable, but because it invites attempts from people who are not prepared for how quickly conditions can turn deadly. Its history shows a consistent pattern. Familiarity leads to complacency, and complacency leads to mistakes that the mountain does not forgive. Mount Hood earns its place on this list as a reminder that danger does not always come from remoteness or size. Sometimes it comes from how easy a mountain appears to be. Number 4. Mount Washington, New Hampshire, USA. Mount Washington stands at just 6,288 feet, making it one of the lowest mountains on this list. But height has never defined its danger. Located in New Hampshire's White Mountains, Mount Washington is widely regarded as one of the most hostile weather environments on Earth. The mountain is famous for its extreme and unpredictable weather. Winds exceeding hurricane strength are common, and temperatures can drop suddenly even during summer months. In winter, wind chill values can reach levels that cause frostbite in minutes. What makes this especially dangerous is how quickly conditions change. Clear skies at the base often give climbers a false sense of security. Mount Washington records some of the highest fatality rates among hikers and climbers in the United States. Many of these deaths occur not because people lack experience, but because they underestimate how severe the mountain can become in a very short time. Whiteout conditions erase trails. Winds knock people off their feet. Navigation becomes nearly impossible. The terrain itself adds to the risk. Steep ravines, exposed ridgelines, and icy rock faces create fall hazards throughout much of the year. In winter, avalanches are common in areas like Tuckerman Ravine, where steep slopes funnel snow and ice into deadly slides. Several experienced climbers have been caught in these avalanches, with little chance of survival. Rescue operations on Mount Washington are frequent but dangerous. Weather often prevents helicopters from flying, forcing ground teams to operate in brutal conditions. Despite the mountain's proximity to populated areas, rescue does not always arrive in time. Each year, the mountain claims lives through exposure, falls, and sudden storms. Mount Washington earns its place on this list because it defies expectations. It proves that survival rates are not determined by height or remoteness alone. Instead, they reflect how unforgiving a mountain becomes when weather, terrain, and human judgment collide.
Number 3. Denali, Mount McKinley, Alaska, USA. Denali rises to over 20,300 feet, making it the highest mountain in North America. It is also one of the most dangerous. Unlike Mount Hood or Mount Washington, Denali's reputation is well known. Climbers arrive aware of the risks, trained, equipped, and prepared. And yet, its survival rate remains among the worst in the United States. Denali's danger begins with altitude and latitude combined. Because the mountain sets far north, the air at its summit is significantly thinner than mountains of similar height elsewhere. Climbers experience extreme altitude effects earlier, often before their bodies have time to adapt. Headaches, nausea, and impaired judgment are common, and deadly when decisions matter most. Weather on Denali is relentless. Storms can form suddenly and last for days, trapping climbers high on exposed ridges. Temperatures regularly fall below -40 degrees Celsius, with wind chill pushing conditions beyond what the human body can endure. In these conditions, frostbite can occur in minutes, and simple tasks become impossible. The mountain's terrain adds another layer of danger. Massive glaciers conceal deep crevasses that are often hidden beneath thin snow bridges. Avalanches are common, particularly during heavy snowfall. Falls at high altitude frequently result in unrecoverable injuries or death. Many fatalities occur during descent, when climbers are exhausted and weather windows close unexpectedly. Despite having more established routes and rescue infrastructure than other Alaskan peaks, Denali remains unforgiving. Helicopters are often grounded by weather, and rescues can take days. Bodies are sometimes left where they fall, preserved by the cold, because recovery would risk more lives. Denali earns its place on this list because experience does not guarantee survival. Each year, climbers are reminded that preparation reduces risk, but it does not eliminate it.
Number 2. Mount Rainier, Washington, USA. Mount Rainier rises to 14,410 feet and dominates the skyline of Washington state. From a distance, it appears calm and symmetrical, often visible from major cities like Seattle and Tacoma. But despite its accessibility and popularity, Mount Rainier has one of the worst survival records of any mountain in the United States. What makes Mount Rainier especially dangerous is its glaciers. More than 24 major glaciers cover the mountain, creating a constantly shifting landscape of ice falls, hidden crevasses, and unstable snow bridges. These hazards are present year-round and change daily. Routes that appear safe one morning can become deadly by afternoon. Weather on Rainier is unpredictable and violent. Moist air from the Pacific Ocean collides with the mountain, generating sudden storms, heavy snowfall, and thick cloud cover. Visibility can disappear without warning, disorienting climbers even on well-established routes. Many fatal incidents occur when climbers lose their route during descent and wander into dangerous terrain. Mount Rainier also suffers from a false sense of security. Because it is heavily climbed and closely monitored, many people underestimate it. Climbers often assume that rescue will be quick and reliable. In reality, poor weather frequently grounds helicopters, and ground rescues are slow and risky. Several climbers have died within sight of others who could not reach them safely. Avalanches and ice collapse are constant threats, particularly on popular routes like the Disappointment Cleaver and Liberty Ridge. Entire sections of glacier can fail without warning. Experienced climbers have been killed by falling ice despite following standard safety practices. Rainier's survival rate is worsened by volume. Thousands attempted each year, increasing exposure to risk. Even a small percentage of accidents translates into a high number of fatalities over time. Many deaths occur not during the climb itself, but during descent, when fatigue, weather, and time pressure combine. Mount Rainier earns its place as the second most dangerous mountain in the United States because it combines extreme objective hazards with accessibility. It attracts people who believe familiarity equals safety. The mountain repeatedly proves otherwise.
Number 1. Mount Whitney, Mountaineers Route, California, USA. Mount Whitney is the highest mountain in the contiguous United States, rising to 14,505 feet in California's Sierra Nevada. On paper, it does not seem like a candidate for the worst survival rate. There are permits, maintained trails, and thousands of successful ascents every year. But when survival statistics are isolated to serious incidents, Mount Whitney consistently stands out, and for one specific reason. The danger is concentrated on the Mountaineers Route. Unlike the standard trail, the Mountaineers Route is steep, exposed, and largely unmarked. It attracts climbers looking for a faster, more direct ascent, often underestimating how quickly conditions change at altitude. Falls are the leading cause of death on this route, and most are fatal. A single slip on ice or loose rock can send the climber hundreds of feet down steep chutes with no chance of arresting the fall. Altitude plays a major role. Many climbers attempt Mount Whitney with little or no acclimatization, assuming that being in California reduces risk. At over 14,000 feet, oxygen deprivation impairs balance, judgment, and reaction time. These effects are subtle at first and deadly on exposed terrain. Weather is another critical factor. Storms can form rapidly, especially in the afternoon. Snow and ice persist well into summer on shaded sections of the route. Several fatal accidents have occurred when climbers continued upward despite deteriorating conditions, believing retreat would be more dangerous than pushing on. Rescue on Mount Whitney is complicated by terrain and volume. The mountain sees heavy foot traffic, but helicopters cannot always reach accident sites safely. In many cases, recovery teams arrive too late. Some victims are found days later, having succumbed to injuries or exposure. What makes Mount Whitney's survival rate especially troubling is perception. Many who attempt it do not view it as a high-risk objective. That misunderstanding has led to repeated, preventable fatalities over decades. Mount Whitney earns its place at the top of this list not because it is the wildest or most remote, but because it consistently punishes misjudgment. It proves that danger does not always come from isolation. Sometimes it comes from familiarity. The mountains on this list vary in size, location, and reputation. Some are famous, others are underestimated, but they all share one defining trait. When something goes wrong, survival is no longer guaranteed. These are not places where mistakes can be corrected easily. Weather, terrain, altitude, and human judgment converge in ways that leave little room for recovery. In many cases, the danger is not the climb itself, but the decisions made along the way. Survival rates are not just numbers, they're records of patterns, repeated outcomes shaped by environment and expectation. They remind us that preparation matters, but humility matters more. In a country where most landscapes feel accessible and controlled, these mountains remain exceptions. They operate on their own terms, indifferent to experience, confidence, or intention. And perhaps that is why they continue to draw people in, not to defeat them, but to reveal how thin the line between success and silence can be.